He's a leader now.
Not one step.
May Freya choose the victor.
This guy might be the saddest guy you're ever gonna see, and I apologize, my friend. We need to go Royal Decree, get our Ursine in, and this restore is gonna be massive. He hit our guy down to 1. You gotta wait. Today I want to look at Self-Wound because I was trying to figure out Skellige decks to play. Last season we played Pirates, Endless Voyage Pirates, the Magic Compass. I didn't want to play that again, so what I thought we'd take a look at is Self-Wound, because Self-Wound didn't really get changed, but I want to see how it does against like the decks we're running into right now. Just because I'm running into, along with the Renfrees, which disappear whenever I stop recording, a lot of Waylays, and a lot of the Elf decks, and they do a lot of damage. So I figured we could play Ursine Ritual and play something that's not so vulnerable to the damage, and we'll see how it goes, because I also want to try out Illusionist after her nerf. So the deploy is Veil now, so she doesn't always have Veil. So that is one thing we want to mention. I do want to try that out and see how she is now. So let's get into the deck here. It's pretty standard Self-Wound. I am running Mask of Ouroboros. This is just to have the discard of bronze at the beginning of the game. This could be any of the other ones if you want to. This could be any of them. We don't have discard synergies in the deck. We're not running discard package. So this is just to thin the deck by 1 to get us 4 points. So you're just going to get rid of whatever bronze you don't think you're going to need in the course of the game. You can also just discard a Mardrome, so it's set up for the Bride of the Sea, which is nice too. So as a deck, it's pretty standard. We got Fukusha, we've got Onomancy and Royal Decree for consistency. We really need that consistency. We're not going to be able to outpoint every deck out there. So what we want to do is control the course of the game, and that means we need our consistency cards. So Royal Decree and Onomancy. We have Covenant of Steel. We want to put Illusionist behind Covenant of Steel and get her pretty big. And then hopefully replay at the start of round 2 usually. If you don't replay at the start of the round 2, she's going to get banished, and that's, well, not much you can do about that. And then we have the Seraph is Right. Again, to replay Illusionist, most likely. You can also replay Sigvald and Nut the Callous. It's going to be up to you in which order you want to replay these and which ones you want to bring back. It's pretty much dependent on the matchup or whatever, and which ones get heat waved and such, which ones get squirreled. But we have that combo here. Bride of the Sea is probably going to be to replay the Mardrome. You can also replay Mahakam Ale. This is nice if once you bring back the Illusionist, she doesn't end up getting locked, like she's not too big or something, they lock her. So that's worth mentioning as well. And yeah, she just brings back a lot of good options here. We're running the Ursine to find those alchemy cards. I opted for Blue Boy Lugos. We have this 7 provision slot, can be whatever you want. This 7 and a couple of the 4s are very flexible, so you can play what you want here. I just haven't seen Blue Boy Lugos tried out quite a bit, but I have seen a decent amount of Saskia Commander as well in these Waylay decks, and also just in general for Harmony. And if we can snipe her off with the Blue Boy Lugos pretty early, I think that'll be good. So I kind of want to do that. Then we've got the Wildkarl, the Restore, a Maxi for more consistency, 1 Veteran, 2 Priests. I like the Priest. You could have a second Veteran too. If you don't have the Blue Boy, you could put in a second one here. Then a 6 like a Xavier instead of the Squirrel, or you could put in a Lock like Durgary of Vol. Or you could put in a Grimace if you want more of your own Purifies, because we do have Alchemies for him. But Peller is like probably the best Purify card in general to put in your decks right now. Then we've got Mahakam Ale for the unlock and boost by 5. Just nice to have this here. It's an alchemy, so we can find it off of Ursine, replay it with the Bride. It's really good to have in the deck. Then I went with a Hermit. This could be any of the cards. Hermit has some self-damage synergies. It's obviously worse than Priest. But this 4 provision slot and this Blue Boy Lugos are the ones that are pretty flexible. You can run a 5 and a 6. You can bump another 5. It's up to you. I just wanted to try this out and try out Blue Boy Lugos, really. We've got the Peller, the Tricars, and the Squirrel. So yeah, it's pretty standard overall. Nothing crazy. We'll just try it out and see how it does. First game is going to be Handbuff, which is kind of hilarious because I was going to make a Handbuff deck, and then after looking how many cards I had to change, I figured we'd just be a little quicker to make the Ursine Ritual Self-Wound deck and play it again. But yeah, we almost played the Handbuff today. Didn't end up going for it. So, Handbuff here, after the nerfs, we'll have to see if it's still Renfree. As far as our hand, we've got Drakkar, which is nice. Pellar, probably don't need in this matchup, if we're going to be honest. Melusine's really good to get. Our hand is very gold heavy, which is really not that bad. Let's put back Marjoram. I'm looking for units. That's a good unit. We'll use this to get out our defender, and we'll go with this hand. Get out our defender here. Pretty much always want to start with this so that they can't get rid of it, or get rid of your Melusine. We're going to end up discarding here, probably Armored Drakkar. We'll see how we feel here. We could have kept that Marjoram to discard with this. That would have been probably a little bit better, actually. He's going to play his hand buff stuff. If he doesn't kill the defender, we don't need the Drakkar, because we can do this self-damage onto the Vildkarl to trigger him instead. We do actually want, because we do want the cultist tag for Melusine, so we'll do that. We'll do our mask. Could even to draw into a card we want to discard. Yeah, okay, so Squirrel's not right here. We'll just discard that. And then we will play our Melusine, and we'll get going here. Get some boosts here. Now, if some of these versions that are run-free like to play Igni, so that's potentially scary. There's more buffing for his hand. Now, you'll notice, like, this deck doesn't really have control. We're just going to have to keep up with him via just the power of our cards, really. Pretty much it. We're going to go for the refresh here. We'll put our Armored Drakkar over here on the side of the Svalbard Priest, just so we can get this rain engine value going.
Keep a stiff neck.
Alright, that makes sense. Bountiful Harvest. So it's not run-free, most likely. I'm going to go with this is the Simloss Bountiful Harvest version you could run before run-free came out. We're going to drop this Armored Drakkar here, and we'll hold off on Melusine's Order, because there's not really a point to it. It's going real heavy on the hand buff here, which is going to be problematic for us, because we can't really deal with this. So we're just going to have to force stuff out in order to win this game. Vildkarl will take 3 turns to trigger. Could play it now or just go Maxi. I like the Maxi idea because we do have pretty good engine value.
No magic can.
Next round we do get a lot of key cards if we keep this, so I think this is a good hand. Or good draws, rather. If we can get this Bloodthirst for the extra point going, that'd be kind of nice too. We're up by 20, so I don't really want to commit anything else. I think we'll just put down Vildkarl. You know what's even funnier is this was the card I almost featured in the discussion day video earlier this week. I was thinking about Triss Telekinesis, and I almost did it on her, and then I saw the other one, Draco Turtle, and did it on him. Kind of funny here. This guy must be thinking like us. Alright, so what we will do here is we'll put out some more rain, and we'll play this Vildkarl, and that'll get triggered by our Melusine pretty quick, so potentially we can just pass. Like, if he keeps playing here, we can pass and get a really big advantage, but we don't want to. We have to win this round. So Vildkarl will help with that quite a bit. I suspect he will pass, though. Just like that. Doesn't mean we don't trigger Vildkarl, but that's okay, because we can revive him and then trigger him. It's fine. Obviously not as good as bringing back the Champion of Svalbard usually, because you have to do more damage to it. Alright, so what we want to do here is we want to pressure out all his stuff this round. What alchemies we have left in our deck? Make sure we don't draw them all. We got this one, this one, this one. Yeah, this looks pretty good. Alright, so what we want to do, I think, is Heat Wave or Squirrel more likely. It's usually the question you have to ask yourself when thinking about Melusine. I think we'll go Ursine. Yeah, we'll go Ursine. We'll get out the right, and we'll just bring back our Melusine here and see if she gets Heat Waved. Most likely she will. If not, we can play our defender next. I just think usually they have a squirrel. Like most decks have a squirrel in them right now. And if he has to use a heat wave on it, it's a bigger commitment from him, so that's nice.
Show me the coin or sod
He
off.
did not. Okay, so we could potentially go in with our defender here. But let's play Blue Boy Lugos. It's much safer to just play the defender, honestly. Then we lose our Fuchsia. Let's be greedy and just play Blue Boy Lugos. I'm feeling it.
For the clan! For Skellige!
We'll ping him once. Then Illusionist will kill this thing off. So there's the Bountiful Harvest. He put back 2, so he's got Simloss, Quad, Bountiful Harvest. Very scary. Very scary. Let's start using this order. And we'll play our Sigvald. Potentially. Let's play our Sigvald.
Glory to Svalbard!
We're going to need all of our big cards here. And then hopefully we can get a Peller off with Decree, then hold our Fuchsia for round 3. There's the Triss for him. He's going to try and draw Simloss probably here.
I sense strong magic.
Alright, so we'll just put more rain out. And I think we'll go Nut the Callus here.
Let's take the measure.
And we do want him to have this refreshing. Could have put him next to Illusionist to use one less order on this. But I think we want our Sigvald there. And our Blue Boy, because we might want to restore the Blue Boy. We want to force out the Simloss play, and then we want to force out like most of his buffed cards if possible. Okay, so now we have a turn to kind of do whatever we want. The question is, what would we want to do given a choice? I think we want a Peller. We'll hold off on this. I think we do want to play Peller. Purify that. Because with all these buffs in his hand, he can probably win this round. But let's see. If he doesn't have damage, there's the Simloss. This is going to be really big play. But we can start using Nut the Callus on Illusionist potentially to kill off some of these things if they're really scary. Like a Sorceress getting this on it, for example. He's got Blue Mountain Elite. That's not going to do anything. That's a really bad one for him to get. He's got Sorceress. That one we want to kill with Nut the Callus. He'll probably put his Vial on it. Yeah, second one. That's really annoying. Not much we can do about that, though. And he got a Half-Elf Hunter. That's fine. Whichever one he boosts of these, we want to kill. If he doesn't boost one, we'll just pick one. Yeah, so that's smart of him not to do one. We will still kill one. I was thinking, what do we play from our deck? Is he up yet? He's not up yet, but we have to keep pressuring here. Let's see. We have options. I want to restore our Blue Boy Lugos, I think. We'll do that. We'll hit this with a leader. See if we can hit a Sorceress. Really what we're looking for. Got that Sorceress. And then we will use Nut the Callus here to finish that one off with our Sigvald. And then we'll put out Rain on this row. We do have a lot of points. But remember, his hand is really highly buffed. We don't have a Heat Wave or anything. So, we haven't played this yet. Or we have played this, so if we play it now, we might not get our Fukusha round 3. Which is potentially scary, but we have to force out his stuff.
You're dead already.
That's not too bad. Now what's he going to play from his hand? He might have... He played Phalangiville, right? So, and Stimloss, which are big cards. But he probably has Gourd. Potentially Gourd. He's played a lot of these, so it might be worth it for him to run it. I think he would. That's a 15, by the way. It's pretty big. Let's just use our... The question is, do we own Armancy? If we own Armancy, the best card in our deck might just be... We could revive our... I don't want to revive here. I do want to keep pressuring, so I think we'll just not play Fukusha and go with maybe Mardrome. Yeah, Mardrome. Mardrome's good here. Go with that. Do this. Hit something. Do our order. And give him 2 more Rain. And let's see if he can catch up with 40. He has a lot of buffed cards, so we do have to go for this. That's a lot. He needs to play his last card, which is what we wanted. If all the buffs are gone, we can just hopefully draw our Melusine and win that way. Unless he goes first and first plays his Squirrel or something. This is where having Champion of Svalbard transform round 1 would have been really nice. We do have the Fukusha. Bride of the Sea is much better than these cards. That's good. Veteran I think we'll put back 2. Looks like a squirrel here. No, it's not. Okay. If he had a squirrel, he would have just played it. So we'll last say our Melusine. That way we can try to avoid a potential... what's it called? Actually, we can't last say because we have to put out our target here. We'll just go Bride here. Mardrome will give a nice boost. Play a 10. We have second Mardrome, and then we've got Fukusha. But you shouldn't have any buff cards left. This might be Gourd, but we can handle Herald Gourd. This looks like Herald Gourd.
You'll regret your mum ever squirted you out.
So, I think we just win. I think we just win here. We'll just play our Mardrome here. In case he has the Heat Wave, we'll just play this. It wouldn't really make a difference here. Because I'm pretty sure it's like a 20-something Gourd. It's a Sheldon. But we're good here. We can actually bring back that Melusine. We did purify her. I was going to say, she's a 34. We did purify her for this reason. GG. Looks like we have Deadeye Ambush. It's going to be the Waylay deck. We're going to put back the Squirrel because they always have enough Waylays that discarding a Squirrel doesn't really make a difference.
Another little thunderbolt. Charmin.
This really isn't bad. We can keep this ordering. Then we'll get rid of the Mardrome. We can go Defender Melusine here. You might have a Purify for the Defender, which would be quite annoying. So you have enough. If they're playing the Elves, they can run the 4-person Elf that does the Purify. If not, this will make his Waylays a little more annoying for him to play, because he'll have to hit this thing's armor.
Swords I smile at, weapons laugh to scorn.
We don't really have a good cultist but next to this, but we do have Armored Drakkar and Cheersick Veteran. Here comes Vanity. If he has it, it'll probably be Vanity because you get an extra Deadeye that way. There he is.
This is our land.
Now we can't kill Vanadane, so he's gonna get a lot of value.
The daisy of the valley!
And what we're actually gonna do here
Humans to the sea!
is we're gonna use this. But we're gonna put something next to, in between Melusine and this, so it takes an extra damage, right? Because right now he gets it with 1 damage, and he hits it with Waylay and it dies. Now that won't do it because we protected it from the Melusine hitting it. We might actually just go renew or restore on this thing right here. I think we will just restore it. It's going to be a lot of value, and it means you won't be able to get through to our other guys. He's gonna go with the movement. Not a bad choice. Put down our veteran here.
Seen it all already, and then some.
Like I said, we don't want this. Well, it could go to 4 here because he has to play an elf to do this cooldown, so we can't waylay and then kill it this turn. He's setting up for a lot of points though, which is quite scary. I think we could play Sigvald. Could also play Bride of the Sea. I think we'll play Sigvald. This round's too important to lose. And Sigvald's behind the defender. So this should hopefully give us the round. Vernaciel is really scary though. It's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's 14. It's a 19-point play. But potentially some of the damage hits our Sigvald or hits Cheersick Veteran. Alright, so what we'll do now is play our Nut the Callous. And we'll start killing Elven Deadeyes. Now, we could, instead of the Deadeyes, be killing off the Swordmaster here, but Vernaciel is really scary. Okay, he's gonna just go all in here, it looks like. Probably leaves... Oh, he's just gonna play everything. These could all potentially... We just want these Vernaciel charges to hit Sigvald. He's gonna go for it. Sigvald, absorb. Ooh, he killed that. That's really bad. That was 30 points we lost right there. That's one of the biggest Vernaciels you're gonna see. Alright, so we do have a Fuchsia. So doesn't really do much. Sigvald's not going to play for a ton. I don't think we can get 30, so he's going to win here, the round. And he's probably going to banish our Melusine, which will kind of be really bad. I don't think we can... Well, our best chance is to revive our Sigvald round 3, or whenever he's going to do his... Our best chance is just to revive Sigvald, so if he has Waylays, they have to hit Sigvald, and then just purify it, hopefully. This hand's pretty good, though. Let's see if he's going to banish something. We've got some good options for reviving. Like, I don't think he wants us to go to round 3. Or if he does, he wants it to be shorter. But if it's short, he's going to have an answer to Melusine. Right now we can revive Melusine and Sigvald, which is good, obviously. Swordmaster.
Let us sing the song of steel.
What I think we'll do is I think we'll just play Wildkarl and then transform him. This should be pretty big tempo, and if he's going to do this round, he'll have to play his Simloss here. And we have cards like Bride at the Sea to play into Mardrome potentially. There's a squirrel. Let's see what he picks. He picked to banish Melusine, so we still have Sigvald then. That's interesting. We can get a Purify for our Sigvald. So we can Singer Griffiths right here. If he plays his stuff, we can then bring back what instead round 3? Nothing really, so that's a problem. I think we do it anyway.
What do you need?
He probably passes here. The question is, do we go Onomancy Peller to purify the Sigvald? That is the question we're going with here. Can Mardrome him after if we do? I think we have to do this. I think we don't get enough points any other way for round 3. Because the quad Waylays is going to be too much value. He has not Illicit, but he's going to. Right? So the quad Waylays is too much value. We can't beat that without our Sigvald. This does mean that if he's running Heat Wave, he'll get us pretty good, though. We want this in case of an unlock. We do want this. This is okay. Alright. So now we go Fukusha on our Sigvald. Let's get him back again.
Continent folk will never understand.
We can Royal Decree out either Blue Boy Lugos or Second Priest if we want. We can also go Ermion into Mardrome, which is most likely our best chance. There's the Alyssa. We're also under threat of spores, but I don't think these decks typically run spores. So we're just not the kind of play into it. Probably gonna see those Waylays coming in here. Leave us with only Sigvald. Which is why we had to play him, because everything else would die. Alright, so we will go Bride into our Mardrome here, because we discarded one at the beginning of the game. There's no point like playing around Rose, because Sigvald's going to get so big that it'll be like enough for the Igni anyway. And he's at double less, eh? Here comes the Waylays. Go Ermion. Mardrome. There's no point in holding off on this because the bleeding will just get bigger. But I think he's going to win. Against this deck, you have to win round 1, and we just couldn't do it. Though if he If his Vernaciel was less good, like it hit less good targets, like it didn't kill our Chursek warrior and it hit our Sigvald at least once, which it did it out of like 9 shots, then we would have had a better chance. We still have been really far down.
You're dead already.
Alright, so he probably has Isengrim, and then something else for his last card. I'm just curious if he has the Spores or Heatwave, really. Because we're definitely losing. I'm just curious what his last cards are. GG. Atricidal Fury. So we're probably going to be playing against Sihil here. Everyone's favorite deck. We actually do have some options here, but we really want our defender for those options. But one thing you will probably see us do is just play Ursine and kill off 2 of those things right away. Really want a defender. But yeah, Melusine can kill 2 of the guys. Which is our goal here. We want to see that happen. It's a nice way to stop his growth on the sword.
The righteous shall be recompensed.
Interesting.
Drown yourself with those damn nets.
We can kill all 3 of these, by the way. Let's just see if he quits if we do. So we're just going to do this, and then ping this one on the end, and there's going to be nothing for him to hit with Sihil. I'm not sure what he's going to do. Exactly. I'll leave this one in. I usually cut these short ones out, but that was kind of funny. We'll put that one in here just because that's funny, but normally I cut these out. Imposter should be an interesting one.
I hate portals.
We do have Melusine, so we have a chance in this round, although we do need more than this. Going first, we have the discard. We're going to open with Covenant of Steel, and then go Melusine. We're going to lose one of them to... Hopefully he doesn't have Purify. There's no Purify, he's just Invocations this. If he purifies it, then Invocations Melusine. We don't really have a way of winning round 1. Well, theoretically. If it's like... yeah. It's this deck. The only thing we can do is get nothing. The only counterplay we have against this is not the Callus, and he's not in our hand. So we just have to RNG and draw into him. We did not.
Tongue out now, or must I reach for my pincers?
I think if there's anything else, like we don't have a way in our hand. We just don't have our choices. Blue Boy Logos could work against this too, but we just don't have it. Which means this guy gets his win here. We're definitely gonna lose. I just want to see if he gets the 1,000 points or not. You guys are free to skip watching this if you don't want to, but I'm curious if he gets his 1,000 points.
Your name, young man, demands you be cursed into an earth.
Everyone has their secrets.
Maybe we can Sigvald, but he's gonna get too much stuff. Like, we needed Sigvald, not the Callus this round.
It makes my hand wobble.
Who may wants death on you? No
We
one
weren't
will
even
take
close to
on
getting it.
yours.
Time for the Vilgefortz Renegade? No.
Her grace will not be pleased.
We should not have discarded a card.
I still hope they'll paint a big
Lady of the Seas, daughter of the heavens, accept my sacrifice!
The goddess protects you from all evil.
Okay, so he's gonna get a ton of points. There's no way we can actually win the game. There's like actually no way to win this game. We need... Well, the only thing we can do is like Sigvald, not the Callus kill stop, because he makes too many guys. So it doesn't work.
Glory to Svalbard!
We'd have to Mardrome this first too. Otherwise we won't get enough. It doesn't get big enough. So we'd have to have a way to boost it. Yeah, and there's always this too. Yep. Fantastic. They always have that option as well.
Your descendants, my beloved. Sacrifices for Melusine, one and all.
Let's see how many points he gets. He has 5 scenarios, basically. Oh, it's actually not scenario, it's this. I assumed it was cultists. This is different. Because what we can do here is just discard cards and let Sigvald take all the damage. We don't have Heat Wave in our deck, so he can't do that to us. I assume this is cultists. If it's Yennefer Illusionist, though, maybe we can do something.
Gods protect us.
Cursed are the meek, we say.
He'll take a bleeding, so that he's still bigger than Nutthicalus. Or lower, I mean. We might actually win this. As amazing as that it is, because now he's going to keep zapping Sigvald. At this point, we're fine. We can just trigger Sigvald. Damage this by 15. And then we can play the Renew, or Restore. I always call it the wrong thing. We play the Restore for a huge amount. And these 2 Yennefer Illusionists, and that's not going to win the game for him. GG. I thought that was completely lost. I forgot this deck existed. I just assumed it was cultists. Wow. That's why I don't quit these games, by the way, guys. Sometimes I want to, but you never are quite sure.
You've got the heart of an uncrate.
Alright, we're going up against Blaze of Glory. That's interesting. I've seen a bit more Blaze of Glory lately. We've got this. Access to Melusine and Defender in the same round, which is nice. We'll keep the Ale, I think, and put Mardrome back. Let's see what he's running. We have to win round 1. This is probably raid spam. And so it is.
I knows it well.
I could do this all day.
There's a Brockvar Hunter. So this is gonna die. Actually pinging its armor off is good because then it doesn't get the stunning blow hit bonus damage. It's the same as if it had the armor, essentially. 6 damage. Next turn he'll kill it. But hopefully we can start our other stuff going in the meantime.
Never used some food stalls for a club.
Take some damage on Melusine. That's annoying. Let's go with our Drakkar here. Now, if he wants to leader, he can kill our Melusine, but he probably doesn't want to. Honestly, he does leader. That's not too bad for us. Stunning Blow is probably his choice here. Like, any of the raids will kill us except for Primal Savagery and Blood Eagle. They'll only do 3, and he's got 1 damage here, so it's 4. Any of the other ones kill our Melusine here, so it's probably going to kill it. Not Melusine, Covenant of Steel. So he's going to kill Melusine. We could boost her with Mahakam Ale. It's not a bad idea. Because I don't want her at 6. She's in range of like Stunning Blow, Gutting Slash, all that stuff. Now it's a little harder. Getting a few more points on her, hopefully. And I'm pretty sure he's not running a lock. If he is, we can always get Bride of the Sea with our Decree. You could Primal Savagery this, which is probably his best option. Like one of his best plays for this round will be to ping us in Primal Savagery. We're going to hit that too. I'm Illusionist to transform for us, and she'll get her order refreshed. Quite a few points here. We want to keep pressuring on even for sure against this deck, because the later in the game it gets, the more their veterans add up, and the more of these things they've played. So this should be a pretty decent matchup. I think we'll just start right away with a Resurrect here on our Melusine. Squirrel's not bad either, though, for his guy, the Highland Warlord. But I think we'll have to go in with our value instead, because we open with Squirrel. It's really slow tempo. We want to set up our engines instead. Let's see if he has a Heat Wave. If it's between... Sometimes I don't, by the way, because they've got a lot of raid control, like damage from the raids. If he doesn't, we'll go in with our Covenant of Steel, I think. Via Fukusha. Because we want to pressure 2 rounds here. Highland Warlord. Honestly, the Covenant of Steel is not great if he has... How much is it going to do? Stunning Blow does 5, 6 to armor, 7, 8. If we do play our defender, it's just going to die to Stunning Blow, and I don't like that. So instead I think we'll play Armored Drakar. Well, I'm going to Stunning Blow this instead. We do have good options, by the way, left still. Blue Boy Lugos is one we could go for. We do have Onomancy and Royal Decree, so we could use one of them for sure. This is the doomed one. Go play our Sigvald. Sigvald should give him a lot of trouble. I'm supposed to be on this side, so the bleeding doesn't take till next turn. But I didn't. I played it too fast. Just ignore that. Because the bleeding won't take this turn either. We learned something here. Bleeding is before these abilities, I guess. Because I guess it counts as the same as the end of turn effects. Good to know. Always learning stuff in this game. We don't have Mardrome, so we might consider Onomancing for it, but I'd rather get... Let me get Fukusha either way. Would I rather get Nut the Callus? It's not as good without the Mardrome anyway, though. We'll see. Either way, I think we go with the Priest next. The Priest isn't good because it dies to all the raids he has, even Blood Eagle.
We'll follow you always into the fair.
I mean, we may as well. You're gonna probably end up Onomancing Mardrome, honestly. And then Onomancy Mardrome, and then Decree Nut the Callus. Hopefully we take one of the damage cards on this Priest here, then he can't kill Nut the Callus. That would be ideal. There's the Blood Eagle. Let's see if he's going to go for his Herald the Cripple. He is. To replay his Highland Warlord. He is. I mean, we don't have to wait. We just know he's going to do that. Oh, he actually didn't. He wanted more value. I don't blame him. He's going to need that value. So, we have Ale. Yeah, we'll Ownermancy out here for the Mardrome. We can also Royal Decree into Ursine for Restore if he's going to start damaging our Melusine. We have a couple options. I think we'll do that. We'll go Bride of the Sea Mardrome, and then we'll go ping Melusine, use this on Melusine, and restore her. That's the best value here. We'll get a ton of points from it. We just have to do it before he leaders, is all. He's a leader now.
Not one step.
May Freya choose the victor.
This guy might be the saddest guy you're ever going to see. And I apologize, my friend. We need to go Royal Decree, get our Ursine, and this restore is going to be massive. He hit our guy down to 1. You got to wait. I mean, that wasn't good. We should have clicked this, but it's hard to tell. We can just restore it again. We're just gonna restore this guy again. This Melusine again. So we'll put this Rain out. This means we can use the restore off of this. Is that actually good though? Like, yeah, we're gonna do it. And we'll just play it again. Casual second restore. And even with the Heart of Terror stopping our first one, this one's really big too. He needs another 28. I don't think he has it. Unless there's a heat wave, but he would have heat waved us way earlier if that was the case. There's the Fukusha. And that'll be a GG here. He can't like randomly raid and get us with a Champion's Charge to destroy or something, so I don't... There's no raid that's going to win the game for him. Just Primal Savagery. And there's the GG. So what do I think about the deck? I think Self Wound's very similar to earlier. The deck itself hasn't gotten changed very much. It's still good. You just have to watch out for heat waves and stuff like Sigvald and Melusine. It's always going to happen, and so will the Squirrel be banishing them. So you kind of have to play around which ones you have left and what you think the opponent's running. And I think the deck's actually... I still think the deck's pretty good. I don't think it's like super strong. It used to be super, super strong. And I nerfed Sigvald with big quotes around that nerf with that one extra provision. He's still crazy, but what are you going to do? He's really good. But yeah, the deck's still pretty good. Down here, I think Hermit for Spores is a change I want to make. I always show you guys the changes I want to make at the end of these. I think we want that Spores. The reset's just really valuable. It's unfortunately not an alchemy, but it is a nice card to put in here instead of the Hermit. You could go second Peller as well. You want more consistent Purifies on your Melusine round 2, so you can play her 3 times again. Wouldn't say that's bad either. And then again, like the Blue Boy Lugos here, and like Maxi and Hermit, it could be anything. You could go like this. You could put in, what's the 7 guy? The other 7. You could put in Herald Houndsnoot. That's fine. It's not bad at all. You can put in a 6 and a 5. So you could run a Gregory of Evolve for a lock. And then a, where is the other one I'm thinking of? Freya's Blessing. Where's Freya's Blessing? And you could run a Freya's Blessing. Now, this is actually a pretty good alchemy card. It's just, it takes an extra provision. And the cards you usually want to get back, you can set up combos with Priest and Armored Drakar. It's just... It takes a slot for the Freya's Blessing, and you can replay it with the Bride of the Sea if you have a Rain out from Melusine. So that's worth mentioning. You can do that as well. But these 11 provisions I've got left over here, these can be anything you want. I'll go back so I don't share the wrong deck code with you guys. But yeah, so that's the deck. I think it's pretty good. You have a lot of options. And the only thing is, if you want to, there's some decks that are just a real big problem if you don't have Heatwave. And we don't have Heatwave in here, so if you want to fit Heatwave, you can. It's just kind of hard without cutting provisions. Like, you could cut Blue Boy Lugos here. I'm doing the thing again. I have to reset the deck after. Like, cut that, cut Maxi, and then cut, like, another 2. But it's so hard to find the provisions. You can cut Royal Decree, I guess, but I like having that extra consistency. It's up to you. But yeah, I think deck's pretty good. The changes I'd make, I'm going to put in a Spores instead of Hermit, and maybe second Peller. But how come Ale hasn't been very valuable yet? I might take that out as well. Although having a 4-provision Alchemy is nice, that's for sure. But yeah, I think we'll take out Blue Boy Lugos too. He was fun, but I don't think he really cuts it in the deck anymore. So we can cut him out. By the way, Decree, if you cut Decree, not cut Decree. Yeah, if you cut Decree and something else, you can fit in Sarah's Fearless instead. I just don't think she really is worth it. She can be very good if you get this combo set up. She just doesn't always work out. But if you want to get the biggest possible Sigvolds, you run Sarah's Fearless and Becker's Dark Mirror, which is an option in the deck as well. You use that on your Sigvold if you want to make really big Sigvolds. I just don't think it's a good idea right now, considering I've seen a lot of Yurdens, I've seen a lot of Ignis, and a lot of Heat Waves. And if they don't have those, you can Spores. There was a highlight video I put up on the channel a while back of Sporesing a Sigvold for like negative 114 on the Spores. So it was funny, but you don't want it happening to you, which is why I don't play that stuff usually in the deck. But anyway, guys, that'll be it for this one. Hopefully you enjoyed. Be fun revisiting the Self-Wound deck. Not too sure which one will be next. I was thinking about Handbuff, we'll see. But I guess we'll find out in the next one which one I actually end up picking. That'll be it for this one, guys. Hope you enjoyed. We'll see you next time. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more. And you can check out some more videos over here. And thanks for watching.